All right, welcome to Reddit with Alex. Sorry, I'm a bit late today, around 3 minutes late. Still trying to get a handle on the schedule, but I think I'll be doing this only on Sunday nights for now until time frees up. There's a lot going on during the week, and schedules quite unpredictable during the working days to make a commitment. But as the audience picks up, and hopefully we get up to more subscribers, then I'll keep doing this more and more. But until then, I encourage you to follow me on Reddit. My handle here is maximum band 7492, and you can see Alex in Lviv. It doesn't match up. Actually, I had to change this to make it Alex in Oslo because that's what my YouTube is. I think last week I was going back and forth, but yeah, let me see if I can edit the profile. So you go up here and then you go, yeah, we're in the profile. So let's see if there's some way to edit this. Here it is, edit profile. Reddit's still very 1990s style. I mean, that's I guess it takes me a while to go back and figure out how to navigate the 90s style. Alex in Oslo, and then I'll put match it up with my YouTube channel and Ukraine, so save some confusion. So let's see, because I think let's see, my YouTube channel is here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Alex in Oslo and Ukraine, and then the handle is just Alex in Oslo. Now I can't change the root name. Obviously, this maximum band is locked in. But I think Reddit could make a bunch of money. If they allow people to pay, I would pay a couple dollars to change my name to something more intuitive than the French Foreign Legion names that they have. So yeah, this is a show where I have an opinion about everything, and I'm trying to get this beginning monologue, done better. I'm going to go to the paid version of Restream or StreamYard. I think it's StreamYard I'm using. Yeah, it's StreamYard. So I'll go to this paid version at some point, and yeah, invest more into it, invest more into the marketing as well. So, okay, yeah, I think I've talked about my background enough. I'm going to change up the text, the descriptive text and the comments and everything, put more effort into that, to writing a good profile. And yeah, then let's get started. I'm live streaming, so if you jump on, if you happen across this right now, it looks like I got no viewers because I've just been experimenting the last 3 or 4 times. But I think moving into May, I'm gonna start doing this wholeheartedly, and because during the week I'm always commenting on stuff, and I kind of want to see if other people are out there. But like I said, the timing is a bit tough. I'm doing this at 1800 UTC, so most people on Sunday are still out with friends and everything, and I don't know how much later I can stay up. So it's a bit tough. And in America, it's like in the middle of the day, so unless it's like a really bad weather and people are at home, it's going to be tough getting an audience. But we have to start somewhere, and maybe the summers will just be a practice to get the routine down, and then eventually we will pick it up from there. But let's see, how will we start? Let's look at my comments. I decided what I'll do is I'll go over the comments that I made over the past week, uh, and then I'll start writing some comments as well. So yeah, here's one I just made recently. I think it was like, yeah, just earlier today. So this one, FluentInFinance, this is a good subreddit here. This is interesting. They talk about printing the $10 trillion and they give you a stimulus check, and then it shot up all the inflation, and you ended up losing the value of the stimulus and then some. I'll go ahead and just join this one. And what I wrote is that it was Trump's idea. Everyone's blaming Biden for this big mess with inflation, but which is partly, whoever is there could have done something too. Like Biden could have authorized, more building of single family homes and get the hedge funds out, of as we were discussing, single family homes. But anyway, let's stick to this. So actually, Trump gave us this stimulus, and then Biden followed it through on the last stimulus check. We got like two or three of them, and I remember getting checks in the mail in Norway. I mean, physical checks, and I had to scan them and send them in the Navy Federal. And Bush had actually done something similar after 9/11, gave us all $300, and all that money ended up at Walmart anyway. I mean, $300 is not life-changing money, and then people just spend it, and it all ends up, at the large retailers, namely Walmart and Amazon. So, yeah, it was a corporate stimulus plan. I don't believe in the stimulus at all. I think they should actually like do a building project. So, when the money is done being wasted, there's actually something to be shown for it, like a road or a bridge or a housing complex or something, versus just giving checks to the public. Because then it all just, I put my money in the stock market, and that's where a lot of it also went up. It doesn't actually help anything, or it just goes to Walmart, creates a few minimum wage jobs, and then most of it ends up, in the company. But let's see what else we have here. What other Reddits did I comment on? Let's see. Oh yeah, project management. Yeah, the project management. It's a PMP exam. Is mostly agile or traditional. I have the exam in 2 weeks. Anxiety is already kicking in. Now I know all about this test taking anxiety. Last summer, I took both the PMP and the Agile Certified Practitioner. I took them like a month apart, and I would say they're neither of them were easy. But I made the comment here that everything in life is agile. Everything in life is about being flexible and having soft skills, taking initiative, being a leader, over just following a rigid set of rules. I know a lot of people that are just, stuck and bound to a set of rules, but you got to be flexible. That's just the way life is. And so, again, I tell people all the time, once you understand the way the test writers think and the people at the PMI, the Project Management Institute, think, you can actually use the power of reason to get through the exam. But as I've said before, you have to be able to read fast. So I said there's like some underlying skills before you can even study for the exam. And one is you have to be a proficient reader in the English language. You should be able to read a book in a week, a novel in 1 week, and you should be able to retain what you read. It shouldn't, you should be able to understand what you read and be able to discuss what you read, because that's what's being tested here. It's a 4-hour exam, 180 questions, 150 words each roughly. So let's see. Yeah, I think I've run that calculation before. 180 times 150. So 27,000 words. And the average novel is around 80,000 words, 60 to 80,000 words. So you're reading about a third of a novel in an afternoon. So yeah, the underlying skill is you got to be able to read. And it's better if you read about project management related subject matter, so you get into the subject a bit. And it also gives you if you go on that reading list at the PMI, then it gets you, and you start reading the books before you even start the courses, you'll understand how they think, and it'll be easier for you to get through the exam. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, Virginia Beach. Yeah, Virginia Beach is like one of my favorite things. So let's see. Yeah, there people are taking pictures. So yeah, it looks like we have some oil platforms off of Virginia Beach. But I was just joking that this is the spaceship from Independence Day moving in, and got some upvotes. Like I said, there's people got a sense of humor there. Let's see what else. Okay, we got Gummy on Solana. This is my meme coin that I'm into. I watch crypto banter every once in a while. Let me see. I have to join this. Let's see what they got here. So yeah, I joined. They only got like a few members. So people are like, "What is your gummy price prediction?" And I tell everyone like about meme coins or any cryptocurrency, everything depends on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin ultimately at the end of the day depends on the US economy. It goes the opposite way. So if the US economy is weak and they're going to have to cut interest rates, then Bitcoin will go up. It's like gold except on steroids, because it's easier for people to get in and out of it. It's now traded as an ETF. I mean, gold has an ETF as well, but Bitcoin right now has the media spotlight. And so these altcoins, I've got like, I don't know, like $50. It's like, to me, it's like just entertainment. I never buy more than you can afford to lose. I really can't afford to lose 50 bucks either, but it's like a lottery ticket. If these things go up, if Bitcoin pumps, which it could, it's being predicted, and if they cut interest rates, when they do cut rates, it'll pump. Then these alternative coins, like this gummy on Solana, will pump as well in a multiple. So if Bitcoin goes up 2%, this would go up like 10%. But if Bitcoin goes down 1%, this thing will go down like 50%. That's how these things work. So just keep in mind it's gambling. Now here's a stock, Rubrik. I got into the Rubrik IPO. I mean, not on the floor. I got in on the secondary market. Um, there's a lot of pros and cons about this company. I mean, one, that it's backed by Microsoft, but really what they're doing can be easily replicated. And I was talking about in one of my YouTubes about IT security companies. They can become like flavor of the month. The barrier to entry is not as high as like building semiconductors. Like it's going to take a lot to catch Nvidia. They've got literally, I think, tens of thousands of man years invested into their chip designs, and for AMD or Intel to catch up, it's going to be a while. Or Microsoft, you can't just go make microchips. Now, it's true for computer security. You can't just make computer security, but you know, the companies come and go. I mean, it was like McAfee, and there's like all these different companies that come and go in computer security, and the tide shifts so that you can be easily caught off guard. So, but again, it's a good play. I mean, there's always hacks, there's always attacks, and you need to keep a close eye on these companies. Like I was in CrowdStrike, I got out of that. I felt like it was getting overvalued, and there's competition. And this Rubrik right now is under $10 billion market cap, and CrowdStrike is like, I think, let me see what it is. Let's see what CRW stock. What is their market cap? Market cap 73 billion. So yeah, they could buy Rubrik. And it's been all over it's yeah, you see it's been up there over 6 months, year to date, 1 year, and 5 years. Yeah, so it's you know, like I said, you've got to have some entry prices and exit prices. It's not like a long-term buy and hold. Like, we could look at MSFT stock. Like Microsoft is one of these things you just buy and you just sit on, I think, and it just steadily goes up all your life. Yeah. So here, it's had its bad times, of course, but it's been a reliable gainer. I was in Microsoft in the 90s, and then, I don't know, I think I got back in here, got out because I wanted to buy more interesting stocks. But I think it's a good company. I mean, but like I said, none of this is investment advice. This is just all my personal opinions, just about what I'm doing in life. But yeah, so I got like some 20, 30 shares of Rubrik. It was like $1,000 investment, just keeping an eye on it. And, if it dips, usually these IPOs, they go way up and then they go way down. So let's look at Rubrik stock, RBRK stock. So let's see. Yeah, it's not enough data yet. Yeah, so it's been all over the place, but I think it's going to dip down. Like I said, not investment advice, just my opinion, because these things come in really hot. It's 20 times oversubscribed, and then you have to see how they perform and what the analysts say. But they have solid customers. It seems like they have a good technology. But I've read in some tech blogs that it can be replicated. Um, you know, so you know, so yeah, my friend just sent me a message. I have to respond to him later after the podcast. So yeah, yeah. Like I said, this is all live, and so all right. Let's see. Let's go back to some more Reddits. I have more. Let's see. Anybody else watching? Anybody else decided to jump in? Let's see. Yeah, no viewers yet. It's just talking to myself, but that's okay. We just have to establish a habit and then figure out how to market this podcast. Because I find these topics interesting, and I find just yeah, there's something for everybody in this show that might find interesting. Um, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I comment on a lot of things here. That's why you gotta follow my Reddit, then you can see what I comment on. Um, yeah, so it's a lot of times I comment on the Solana. I have a small company and we do blockchain projects. We build games and what have you. So, yeah, if you need anything done, let me know. Um, okay, this is funny memes. This one wasn't so funny. It was like the guy moved into an apartment and the landlord painted over a cockroach. Believe me, it happens, especially these large scale rental complexes. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's nothing surprises. Now, here, Reddit IPO. How will Reddit monetize in the future? I always like to take a few jabs at Reddit because it is incredibly left leaning. And if you have any kind of conservative viewpoint, I've been banned from so many subreddits, just for making remarks that, are against woke or, just questioning some judgment. And it's like this, like they generally ban or silence people who have a conservative opinion. And I said a great business model is that, those people we can pay money to have the bans lifted, pay $10 to get back into a subreddit, say, that might be a good way they can monetize. Is like let the other half of the country in the conversation. I found a new way to do these things so I don't get banned, like to talk in a more polite way, but still get my point across. But that takes a lot of time to do that. Where are we? We're just about a little bit over a quarter of a way through the show. I do this for about an hour, and then get people jumping in and have things they want me to comment on. That's kind of like the way I envision this. So let's see. Yeah, I asked a question in this meme coin, like how do we form the community? So this Gummy on Solana, they have a chat room and everything, and people are just like shilling other projects or trying to scam each other, and there's no real. And they keep talking about handing it over to community, but where is this community? So I always ask about that because all these crypto things they usually pump and dump. But what I like about this Gummy on Solana is that it's run by this Rand Newer who runs Crypto Banter, and he has like millions of followers, and he's really into it. And so I think he can keep the publicity and the buzz going to get people in, because that's what it's all about. That's what crypto is all about. It's all about marketing. It's not a technology, it's a cult. it's just a it's just a marketing thing. It's like a casino. You buy these different tokens or NFTs, and you just hope yours wins. It's like a lottery. It's not. And so it's all marketing, and so they have a big marketing thing behind it. Now, the other one I was really hot and heavy into over the past couple of weeks is this subreddit, real estate bubble, RE bubble, and they're all talking about the housing shortage. And I was like saying the federal government can actually build houses. They can actually go in and do some rezoning, or they can build some. I did a YouTube the other day about high density housing. I mean, I live in a high density project here in Ukraine, and it's nothing like the projects in America. It's all middle class families, upper middle class families, people in IT. You know, um, I was talking about the government can build that and then sell it to people at a price that correlates to their income, something they could afford. So if they're making 100 grand a year, they would sell them the property for like $250,000. If it's like a couple together making 100 grand a year, and they would be required to put 10% down, or sell it to them for like 200 grand, so they have room to breathe. But when if a couple is making like $250,000 a year, they can, and they're still a little bit broke or something, they can then push that up to like 500,000. They could have like a multiple of like a gross adjusted income. But the other thing, like I've been talking about and ranting on LinkedIn, everywhere else, is um, the government has to get the hedge funds and limited liability companies out of single family homes and condos that are meant for ownership. If they do that, that'll free up a lot of supply. And then private landlords should be only allowed to own up to 3 homes and then put, like, really hefty taxes on the 4th or more home, so they're discouraged to own more than 3 homes. So you could have, like, a house, a vacation house, and, like, an income property, or you could have a house and then 2 income properties, but that's it. Housing should be for people to live, not a financial instrument. And then that money would find its way into more companies like NVIDIA, and instead of, people's, I mean, housing doesn't really innovate, right? It's a place where people live, and then they're turning it into a financial instrument. It'd be better to see money flow, investment money, like extra capital flow into small businesses or into small companies that need investment, into the environment or something like that. So I made a big proposal here. First one was like, yeah, get rid of the corpse and get all the LLCs out of there, and then talk about, like, limits on private resident ownership. Like, if you have the 4th house, that would be, there'd be a wealth tax on it. There'd be probably some, hefty taxes for that. Um, you could have let the government build affordable homes, new rental apartment complexes. This is where corporations can do some good. They can build, like, large apartment complexes, and they can rent apartments out to people. That would be better than them buying up single family homes. And they can build large apartment complexes at scale, so the cost per unit would be cheap, and they could pass on that savings, hopefully, cheaper rent. These big box homes, like these ones that are over 2,500 square feet, they should be taxed, unless there's more than 5 people living in the house, like a family of more than 5, like a husband, wife, and then 3 kids. I mean, if it's like more than that, then they can get an exemption. So something like, 50 square meters or 500 square feet per person in the house. And if it becomes something more than that, then there should be some wealth taxes on these extra large homes. And then for people who are in poverty, I was arguing with a guy who said he's in poverty. I said, well, if you're in poverty, you shouldn't be thinking about buying a house. You should think about upgrading your skills. You should, go into nursing, go into trades, building trades. I mean, there's a big demand for plumbers, and take care of that first and get into a job where you can earn the pay, get into that middle class, and then get into one of these programs like a HUD program, or, government housing program or something, where they sell you the house based on your income. So I explain all of that there, but of course, people say moving the goalposts. I said, yeah, bringing the goalposts closer. Can't have everything. I mean, you have to work for stuff. I believe in kind of a work fair. Like, the government can put stuff out there, but people still should have to buy it and pay for it. If you give stuff away for free, people don't appreciate it. But you got to create the opportunities. I mean, if the government was to get into building houses, that would create a lot of these middle class jobs that would require tradespeople, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, window people, these people who do windows and doors, roofers, all this kind of skilled trade stuff. It would create these middle class jobs, actually. Be like the Henry Ford phenomenon, where, he the people working in the factories were buying the cars, and it just kind of snowballed, and then that created, like, a need for, tire people who fix tires, and people who, gas stations and all this kind of stuff. So it could snowball. I mean, there are things the government can do and do quite well. I mean, we see good housing, public housing in Norway and stuff like this. I've seen it done, so it's not out of the realm. Now, in Virginia Beach, someone was asking about learning about surf. Middle-aged woman wants to learn to surf, and I just threw in my story. I've been surfing a long time. I think since my 20s, when I joined the Navy. First thing I did out of officer candidate school, I was down in Florida, was go and take surfing lessons out in Cocoa Beach, Florida, with a couple of guys I was in the Navy with, and I was hooked ever since. But at 43, I learned to snowboard. And the first time I did it, I broke a few ribs. The second time I did it, I crashed a few times. But, so nothing is impossible. Middle age is not a barrier. If you're fit, surfing is a hell of a lot easier than snowboarding. I can tell you that. Um, and But I tell people, I would suggest, if you want to learn to surf, go to Cocoa Beach, Florida. There's better waves. It's You can get set up better. In Virginia Beach, the waves are close very fast. and they shift around. It's a sandy bottom. I mean, down in Cocoa Beach, it's a sandy bottom, but it's flat. It just goes out flat, so you get more of this consistent sets. In Virginia Beach, it's there's some weird stuff going on under the waves, and it's hard. I think it's a bit of a harder place to surf. I mean, every now and then you get some nice weather, some nice tidal waves versus wind waves, and it can be nice. But most of the time, it's chop. Um, but there's another south end of Virginia Beach, the Croatan side. It's like all these like mansions, like $5-10 million houses, but you can access it. It is legal. The beach there is public, and they have some parking. And if you take the trouble to go out there, there's some nice waves in that neighborhood. You know, So I caught the best wave of my life out there on the Croatan side of Rudy Inlet in Virginia Beach. Okay, now let's see. Let's go to some comments. We'll go take a look at some comments. Oh yeah, here's another one. Yeah, this was another comment that I had made. Then I'll write comments for the second half. So here is one fatherhood one, becoming a father. Hi guys, I'm becoming a dad in September, and I was telling everyone I don't mind what the gender is, but secretly was hoping for a boy. Got the news today. It looks like a girl. I'm not unhappy or ungrateful. I just really depressed. The main reason I wanted to be a dad to my son that I didn't have. Anyone else with a remotely same situation or some wise words? So I gave my wise words here. I had a daughter 3 months ago, and believe me, when she comes out and smiles, and for whatever reason, when they just are born, they smile at you. That's why I encourage people, go to the birth of your children. The blood and all that stuff, you won't even think about it. There's bigger things to worry about. People are freak out about little things like that, but nothing else matters. And then your life changes because it's not about you anymore, and that gets easier when you don't have to think about yourself. um yeah. See, like this guy had a daughter, and he wants to give up his day job. That's like, I've pretty much done that. I'm between jobs right now. I'm just working part-time, at Relevate Health. I got an interviews for some jobs tomorrow. Yeah, I got 2 job interviews tomorrow. One in Norway and one in America. What a choice. We'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, I have to get back to work soon, one of these days. Um, let's see. Yeah, so there's like, yeah, a whole bunch of comments here. So okay, Oslo. Yeah, I talk about Virginia Beach a lot. So yeah, if you live in Oslo, Norway, like I said, it's Norway. It's everything is good there. Even the worst places in Oslo are pretty good. But this neighborhood Skøyen that he's asking about, I used to actually live there, and this is actually very upscale. It's on the west side of Oslo, just before you get onto the area called Bærum. And it's I like this area. It's super expensive though, but there's like a rowing club nearby. There's boats, everything. And the train is like 10 minutes into Oslo, and they have this food market. They're called Moshman's Market, and they sell this thing called a gold medal steak. It's like made from some ox, Norwegian ox, and it's aged and everything. It tastes really good, and it gives you like a kick. You feel like really strong after you eat it. So I say, yeah, there's gyms there. They have Sats, they have Evo Fitness, and people there are really friendly. It's not like the center of Oslo where people are busy. It's more chill, this suburb. And you can actually walk into Oslo from here, but it would take you a while. It would take some time, but it's a nice little section of Oslo. And if you go north, you go right into Vigelands Park. It's that statue with all the naked people, the famous one in Norway. It's yeah, that's I used to live out right off of that park. It's a really great place. Um, I think that's one of the greatest sights of all of Norway. So let me jump on to the other Reddits, the subreddits then, or just so see what's going on here. Um, yeah, let's see. Okay, Virginia Beach, plastic surgeon that does fat transfers. I want to get a mommy makeover. Rather have a fat transfer, for breast augmentation than silicone or saline. I don't know how to answer this one, but Virginia Beach is like a Silicon Valley. There's plenty of plastic surgeons there. It's like one of the towns with the highest concentrations of millionaires in America. So yeah, there's definitely that. Now let's see in Oslo here. Does anyone listen to Tristiana? I don't know who this is, but there's a lot of like small rock bands in Norway. Um, do girls say I'm different to other girls or nah? I don't know. I'll just scroll down until I see something I actually can make an opinion on. 5 things I did to pass my PMP on the first try in 6 weeks. Okay. Yeah, there's all kinds of things like you take the course. You know, I've been ranting about like how to pass this test. It's just like going to college. You got to study, you got to read, you got to do practice exams, you got to get a good night's rest. You got to be into the subject matter. You got to be able to think. It's just like anything else. So he's lonely in a big city here. This is in Norwegian. Okay, so but I won't. I'll just keep this all in English. Um, but yeah, but he's just discussing like how he's alone in a great big city and looking for organizations to join or something. So people are probably giving him advice. Okay, so enough about this is good. Like in 1548, we used to dress like this, and now 1948. So man, what the hell happened? Yeah, that's a good one. You know, this is cool. This one is funny. I just gave that an upvote. Let's see. Let's see. Spectrum customers show how company the okay. What am I missing with Soul Chat? No, the Solana community. The meme coins are like clogging the Solana network. And I think I commented on the last podcast what I think about crypto. Like I said, and I even commented earlier, it's not really that useful of a technology for any large scale, like to be money or something. It's more like for, like I said, doing NFTs as a collectible or doing some smaller, maybe like if a bank is moving some big amount of money, or something like that, or I don't know, like it hasn't really shown us, crypto and blockchain hasn't really shown us an everyday thing like Chat GPT, like AI has or Microsoft has with Office, or the internet is, with Google or something. We just haven't seen that. Okay. Okay, let's see. How do I use your blankets in Norway? I'm an American in Europe for the first time, and it's my second night here. I don't understand the blankets I've seen in hotels. I'm too nervous to ask somebody. I feel like an idiot. The blankets, like bed sheets, are sewn up at the corner along the sides. Oh God, this guy's got issues. Yeah, yeah. When you meet Americans, like there's people like myself who, my parents came from abroad, and I grew up and I was traveling all my life, and then you got people who leave the country for the first time, and yeah, it's everything is different for them. You just rip up the bed and make it the way you want. I just tell them because it's not that complicated. Let me just move the microphone here a little bit. So just rip up the bed and make it the way you want. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. We'll see how many votes I get for that. Let's see. No comment on this. In a democratic country, people have a right to march and ask for whatever they want. Whether they get it or not, that's a totally different thing. Um, yeah, let's talk about Trump is near the apex of his polling strength. This is great news for Biden. I'm seeing that Biden is closing the gap, but still not so sure. If Trump beats this rap, or even if he doesn't beat his rap, his popularity could go up. So I don't know. I wouldn't be so sure. Democrats have some work to do. That's for sure. They have some work to do. I think. Let's see what sports betting says. U.S. presidential election odds. Yeah, let's see where he is in the sports betting. I mean, Trump isn't way out ahead as like people like to think, but he's not out of the race. So he's just a 1 and Biden is a 1.1. So you would make like, yeah, if you bet $10, you would make 11, and Trump, if you bet $1, you get $1. So he's at par. And then Michelle Obama, it's like if you bet $1, you get back $16. RFK Jr. too. So it's tight. It's definitely tight. I mean, he's definitely, yeah. You look at all these are all the different betting houses where they're giving the odds. So yeah, here they have Biden ahead. This one, Bet Victor. That's how I'm following the election. I look at all the sports betting. So let me just see. Empire Stakes is another one. This is easier to read. Empire Stakes, U.S. presidential election odds. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, Trump is a minus 110. So if you bet $100, I think, yeah, you would lose that. Plus, you'd have to. I don't know. It's like something like when it's negative, you can't even. It's not worth betting on it. Like with Biden, you would bet $100, you get back 175. If he wins, and Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom. So yeah, you get to see who's all in here. Now, if I could find out how to do it, how to get this, I would actually take I would actually put $100 down on Nikki Haley, because that would give me back 8,000. If Trump gets convicted and the Supreme Court disqualifies him, then she becomes the Republican front runner, and I think she could easily beat Joe Biden because she's like a pro-Ukrainian Republican. She supports Ukraine and she's against woke, and she's something that most people can deal with. She's like a traditional Republican, and I think that's what the country really wants, is like just a normal Republican, not this crazy Republicans. So yeah, if I was betting, I would probably take this deal. And this is not gambling advice. This is just my opinion. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. I see all the other YouTubers do that. They all do that sort of thing. So yeah, let's see. We did Norway. Let me just see the economy. Um, Let me just see. I saw some interesting posts in the economy. Let me just see if I can get that one here. Let me open up that link. Do I have to copy it? How do you do that? Hang on. Control click. Yeah, there we go. Learn something new every day. The economy is moving us back in the 19th century as fertility rates plunge. Yeah, this is concerning. I just had a kid, but nobody's having kids anymore. Work is like just so manic, and people are just so not nice to each other these days, and people's priorities have changed, and Western society is just kind of dying out. And they try to blame it on the foreigners, but really they just got themselves to blame on what they prioritize as important. You know, so yeah, this is a good point here. We moved from an agrarian society, and infant death rates have dropped and into a city, but still, it's just priorities have changed. We live in a very material world. Um, you know, um, but yeah, this is right. Have kids and be poor, because I see it right away. Like ever since I had my kid, a lot of time and money go in that direction, and yeah, it's true. And don't have kids. So if you didn't have to make this choice, like in the old days, when housing was cheap and everything. Now here in Ukraine, I don't worry about it so much, but I'm just putting myself in the mindset if I was living in America. And that's why I waited so long to have kids, because you're always like, I wanted the house paid off, I wanted some stability, but you're always like, just even when you have an upper middle class job, you're always just trying to keep your head above water, and trying to have a buffer, and you don't know how big that buffer needs to be. So yeah, there's just no certainty. um so yeah, this is right, billions of people trying to have it all. Yeah, but I just think society's priorities, need to change. There needs to be even more support for families, like when they have kids. Like in Norway, you get 6 months off as a father, but even then the birth rates are going down. Oslo has gotten so expensive, and that's like big city. But so they've got to do some adjustments there to encourage family formation. Norway was doing good for a while. They were up over 2 birth rate, 2.1, but I think that's fallen off. Well, a lot of that is cultural too. People can afford it, but there's this whole like cool to be single thing going on, which I don't agree with. But yeah, yeah. So that was an interesting topic. Let's see, Fluent in Finance. Let's see this one here. Yeah, this is the Fluent in Finance subreddit. Should there be a wealth tax, smart or dumb? Twitter fires 4,000 workers, Amazon fires 10,000, and Facebook fires 11,000, all while the US billionaire pandemic wealth increased by $1.7 trillion. Reminder, billionaires don't create jobs, they exploit workers. Yeah, I agree with this. A job is something that like pays a living wage, gives you 6 weeks off, health insurance, and a big severance. If if the company fires you at no fault of your own, like if you weren't doing something grossly negligent or malicious, that's a job. I mean, what they do is they give you a pittance, and you're just it's just a modern form of slavery. Instead of like they own you, they lease you is what I tell people. The slavery model changed from like owning people to leasing people. So you pay them like a really crappy wage, and then they have to rent a house from you and buy your products and everything, and then they have nothing left. Like the mines in West Virginia, they couldn't enslave people, so they paid them in like their company currency, and then they could always spend that money at the company's store. And obviously, probably had subpar products, and then they were subsisting and everything like that. And if a person died, then it's just someone else would go and take their place. They didn't have to go out and buy the person. They would just post a job, and someone would come and take it. So yeah, and billionaires are such a small percentage of the voting population. I don't think they could say anything if the public decided to get smart and push their congressman that there should be like a billionaire tax, and then make it so they can't run to other countries. We already got FACTA in place for the United States of America. We can send Delta Force to grab them, if they want to evade the taxes. But so they've been given all the infrastructure. They've been given, tax abatements. They're given a workforce. A lot of these people go to state and public schools, so their government is, subsidizing that. And then they're grafting all of that, making them work a lot of overtime unpaid. I used to work for a Wall Street firm, and I put in 4 hours a day unpaid, and they bitched me for ordering $25 a night worth of delivery food. That came out to $6.25 an hour for the unpaid overtime. But then the CEO is walking away with like tens of millions of dollars of bonuses, every year. So that's where it all adds up. All that unpaid overtime, there it is connected. So you are working for free, and 10,000 people in your company are working for free, extra 2 to 4 hours a night, and then the CEO gets this like monstrous bonus. So of course it needs to be taxed, and they can build like affordable houses, and they would be better off being put in the site. They could pay teachers 150 grand a year in the inner city, so that way you don't have to send your kids to private school, and that would free up more cash. Instead of money going to these like corporate churches. The money then, the families would spend their money at local businesses, or I guess they would, a lot of them would spend on Amazon. Amazon would still win, but maybe there would be some other companies that would sprout up, or maybe they would just work less. They wouldn't need all that money, and they would just spend more time at home, and or they would form families. They would decide, okay, I have this extra money. Let's form a family. That's the way you do it, right? So a lot of this Reddit stuff is tied together. Let's see what other one we have here that I wanted to look at from. Yeah, Cathy Wood. Okay, believes Tesla will be the leader of AI, um, and an $8 trillion company. Now, when I stopped listening to her, my stocks went up. All my portfolio. When I started listening to myself and not listening to her, she's good at losing all your money. At least that's what I think. But she does have a point. Elon Musk is a wild card. If he gets this robo taxi to work, like self-driving taxis, this is the AI revolution. And then this will manifest itself as self-flying airplanes, passenger jets and everything over the next 20 years. This is the AI game changer, just like the way PCs replaced typewriters, and the internet replaced the fax machine. This is like one of these great leaps forward, like when the humans discovered how to cook meat. and then the brains started getting bigger, and then all this like innovation spun out of this. Um, I mean, the implications of self-driving taxis is that becomes feasible to live outside the city. The car would be, instead of being like four seats and a steering wheel, might be a cabin. Like there might be a seat that reclines into a bed, and you could actually sleep, you know, and take a 2-hour commute, and you can rest, and you can have your computer, you can entertain yourself, you could probably even eat. It could be like a mini a motor home or something, and you could do a lot of your work. You could already start working, as you're going to the office. I mean, there's just it could change the whole way cities are designed, or the way people live. Uh, I mean, it's like, and they would drive better than people. So I don't know. I put some money down on Tesla this last week. It's been crashed. Every time I've invested in Tesla before, I've lost money. It's not been good to me, as an investment. I mean, maybe I got out too early or something. I was just too impatient. Or, there's just always bad news. Elon Musk is a bit, there's a double-edged sword. Sometimes he's mentally unstable, and sometimes he really hits it out of the park. So, but I don't want to miss out if this is. I mean, there's a lot of smart people saying this. It's not just him. I think even Kramer on CNBC. And like I said, this is not investment advice, but yeah, I took a small bet on Tesla as well, just to see where that goes. So yeah, I follow Wall Street bets. You kind of see where the sentiment is. Stocks aren't only about good fundamentals; it's also about how much sentiment they're getting. How much people are hyping them up in social media and the news. Uh, you know, because it becomes like people are just chasing a brand. They don't actually read like the forward-looking PE ratios. People don't read that. Just AMD, AMD. I need to get some AMD. They don't even know what AMD does. So there is a bit of this like investment marketing that's part of the equation. Not only it has to be a sensible company, but it has to have good publicity. So that hedge fund managers, pension fund managers buy into it. And let's see what else we got here. Let's see this one here. Yeah, PMP jobs. I'll answer this one. What are your jobs and how the PMP affected your jobs? I am an IT project manager. I was originally certified as a CSM. That's a certified Scrum Master, because I mostly worked in Agile. I hadn't done too much waterfall. I mean, here and there I did it, but I was just didn't really, I was just filling in the blanks, every week and making status reports. Certified as a CSM. Then an employer asked me to do the Google PM course, which I did. I did that before. That's like the CAPM. I'll just put like the CAPM. That's the assistant project manager assistant. It's like a lower level PM. Uh, then I realized CAPM, and then after that job, I took an interview and realized how much I didn't know. I did a project management interview, like a real serious one, at a company called Global Logic. And it was like I didn't really know anything. There was like this whole other side of project management I didn't know about. It's more than just chasing people up and hitting these milestones and planning the work. I mean, there's this whole budget side and risk management side and everything. And I sort of knew about that. I saw PowerPoint slides with risk management and how to calculate that. And I didn't know that. So I undertook the EMP, studied and passed. I found out ACP. I found out about the ACP and saw in the Reddits that it's a good one to also get, and there is a crossover between the two. Between the two exams. So I got it. So I got these 2 exams, and I'd already yeah, I um, I ended up getting a PM job after that interview, though. I ended up, getting a PM job after at a smaller company. Um, but yeah, that doesn't go good with the story. So, but while I was studying, I should say, while I was studying, I got a job at I got a job and told them my PMP and ACP were in progress. When I passed, when I passed this exam, they increased my salary actually 20%, um, telling me that I am more billable to their clients. So yeah, it was a happy ending. It's a piece of paper and stuff, but it's like something that they can sell. So a lot of times when you work as a project manager, you're working in a consulting company, and they're trying to sell your resume to their clients. And when they see these certifications and stuff, and PMP is pretty heavy, um, they can bill you for more. So yeah, I had told them my plan, and I was able to actually negotiate a 20% hike. I actually had to tell them. I mean, they told me I was more billable, and I said I know how much more billable, so I want a cut of it. I want some action. So you got to be a bit of a negotiator as well. Um, so yeah, there's all kinds of things here on PMP. If you guys, like I said, want to talk about this exam, let me know. Let me know in the chat or just write me. Uh, and I'm still doing all these PDUs and everything and taking all their little courses. I find them incredibly useful. I didn't used to like certification exams. I thought it was enough that I had a engineering degree and an MBA, and rest I could just learn on the job. But it's nice to go through a course and take a test and get back in that academic mindset every once in a while. This is a funny thing about Norway. This is true. Why are most of the hobbies organized on Wednesdays? That's true. All the meetup groups, all these different things you do. It's like even people eat tacos on Wednesday nights in Norway. I have no idea. This is a good question. Let's see. Um, which year would you time travel to if you had to? Um, I would time travel to, let's see, 1985 and load up on Microsoft stock and tell my old self that same advice. Um, let's see. Yeah, Biden is cracking down on coal plants, so I hope that they have the sense to revive nuclear power. That's the only way you're going to replace coal is by building a lot of nuclear power plants. Wind and solar ain't going to cut it. Especially with AI. AI is eating a lot of electricity. Um, let's see. Facepalm. This is a good subreddit too. Facepalm is a good one. Let's see. I'll just put that I did Oslo. Let me just write these down for the notes, and then facepalm. Let's see. Let's read this one. Pre-employment questionnaire. How many quarters are in $1? 4 quarters. Is $10 greater than one? Okay, 1,000. I don't know if that's that. Yeah, I mean it's the same actually if it's 1,000, but if it's 1.000, like, and then yeah, it's just one. So not sure they should have a comma. A customer's purchase total is yeah, so in Europe, they use the commas. Okay, so yeah, this is actually a trick. Yeah, that make sure you know the difference between a comma and a point. This is the American convention here. Okay, customers total purchase 825. Customer gave you $10. How much change do you give them back? Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Okay, yeah, it should be I think buck 75. Yeah, because 75 cents to 9, and then yep. Okay. If an item costs 4 for a dollar and a customer asks for $5, with how many items do you give them? What's this? Oh, items. Okay, so that would be 20. Yeah. Okay, so it's a quiz. Let's see what people are saying about it. Let's see. This is funny. Uh, I don't know what to tell her. Um, let's see what people say in here. Southampton Institute of Technology asked me about my. Oh, geez, yeah, the Reddit community eating that one up. Yeah. I would subscribe to this subreddit. Facepalm is a good one. Yeah, and then Monero token. This is the cryptocurrency that can't be traced, but it died off. I've always found it interesting. It's one of these coins that you would mine like Bitcoin, and you could make like a little bit extra money with that. Let's see. Okay, I don't know what that one is about. Yeah, Ukraine subreddit. Yeah, the problem here in the Ukrainian war. Let me tell you about this Ukrainian war. This is all being fought by old men. I'm living here in Ukraine. All the young guys are doing everything they can to hide from the army. Most of them that I've met. I don't know about overall what the statistic is, but the average age is like 43 of the soldier fighting there. That's usually the average age you retire from the U.S. military. So yeah, it's an old gray line over there. You know, yeah. Let's see. Okay, crazy ideas. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we're almost out of time. Yeah, it's getting late for me as well. So yeah, if there's any other ones you want me to go through, I can discuss with you. But all right. You all have a good night, and yeah, we'll see you next time.